Today we're going to be installing the triangle and linkage on my Eride Pro. The cool thing about this dirty bike linkage is it does come with other inserts that go into this. So they have stock ones that actually just say stock on them. So it says stock. And then these say 0.50 and 1.0. So where the arrow is facing down, that's what you're using. So 0.5 would be ½ inch, and then if you flip it, 1 inch. And so this will either keep your Eride Pro height in the back. You can either keep it stock height where it is, which is what I'm doing, or you can do ½ inch or 1 inch rise higher in the rear. And this would be like if you put a 21-inch front. I have a 19, so I won't be doing that. So to do this, I suggest taking off the rear wheel. This should be a pretty straightforward project. You're going to want to undo your rear shock, which I have done already. You are going to have to, never mind the blowtorch, that was to do the dirty bike install. Belt drive to chain drive, and man, I tell you, that was problematic. So I'm hoping this is easier because I'm doing this right after that. But you're gonna want to have to take these off. So there is 4 bolts, 1 and 2, and so both sides you take that off. This bar is threaded, so you have to take them off together. You will need a 13 open end, which I just grabbed. So to get to this bolt here, which is connected to the swing arm, so you will need an open end wrench for that, or if you have a really small socket that might fit in there. And so basically that's going to disconnect. So we're disconnected here, we're going to disconnect that, which is going to disconnect this piece to the swing arm, and then we have these Allens here. Once we take that off, this whole thing should just drop. So make sure when you are putting this back together, you are using blue Loctite. So let's go ahead and get this off. So that's exactly how it was. You just take out this bolt here, which was connected to the swing arm, and then these 2 bolts on the bottom. Be aware that when you do pull this out, there are these plastic washers that went right here. So do make sure that you do put those back, and these are the ones that are connected to where the foot peg mounts are. Also, when you take the bolts out for where the foot peg mounts are, there is a which is not connected to the bolt. It does come off. This one's not coming off. Here, let me show you. This one came off earlier. So there is a silver spacer that's on here, a washer, so the spacer goes on top of the washer, and then you also have another plastic washer here that goes over that. And if you are confused on how that went back together, that is how it goes back together. Now what I'm going to do is separate these 2 pieces here, because I will need to reuse this bolt in the other kit. So when you do pull this one apart, there is no washers that are in here. All of the pieces, like these pieces here, are included in this. So do watch out when you are moving this around. These will fall out. With this one, the tolerance, there was a little bit of play left to right. With this one, there definitely is play left to right. There's nothing that came with this to insert any spacers or anything in here, so I don't think that that's going to be a problem. Now we're gonna basically put this part back up into the bike and put all the bolts back. And do remember again to use blue Loctite when you do this. So I ended up pulling this back apart. I don't know, feeling this, the grease is just really, it's more like oil, which that might be okay. I have this waterproof grease I'm going to put inside here, and then put these in. That'll help like with longevity. I'm just gonna take some and just put it around here and then put it back together. One really important thing to pay attention to is if you put this bottom one on first, which I was like, well, this is a good idea. I'm gonna do this first, line it up. The only problem is this can't go up. So this piece is gonna need to come up to here first, and then you can attach this. So it doesn't need to be connected to anything up here, but it does need to be up before you can screw this in. And this part isn't too hard. It is a little time consuming because you do have those plastic washers, but just take your time. I put the plastic washers on, I held it like this, and I put it up, and then I just slowly turned these by hand. So it actually worked out really, really easy. So we got this bolt tight, we got the suspension back on, and we got these bolts tight here, this side and the other side. And do remember, these are captured so they can't come out, so make them tight, but don't tighten them as tight as you can. This to me looks wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's right because everything went correct, no problems. I put this back on, so this will be the 4 bolts, and do remember that this does have to go up as one complete piece. I am going to have to take this bottom part back off again. Do make sure that the chain is running above this right here. So I was completely right. If this looks like this, where there's gap like that, it's flipped the wrong way. And I had it right the first time because the bike is crazy high now. The rear is a good like 2 inches higher than what it was. So I'm gonna have to, hopefully I could just take this bolt out and flip that around, and then we'll be good. I have the shock back off, and I loosened this bolt and I put it back on the way that it was supposed to get put back on. But if I would have put it the other way, I could have pulled it out. But because I did it the way I did it, it's like just coming in contact with that. And so I gotta pull it completely back apart again. All right, so I didn't have to pull everything apart. So I pulled off this bottom bolt on the bottom, and then it was still coming in contact with the swing arm. So I just popped out the these, and then I was able to swivel it around this. So the arrow is going to be pointing up. So I had it right in the beginning. All right, and now we're done. So got it on. That's how the linkage should look. Looks good. Now we're stock height. Nothing has changes. We're just stronger. All right. Thanks for watching.